I'll call the meeting to order. So tonight we're going to voice vote on everything because with the new electronic agendas, we're going to have that in front of us tonight. So everything will be a voice vote. And let's start with our roll call, please. And I guess everybody can make that without us saying yes. Okay. All right. Announcements, moving that to staff.
Okay, thank you. I do have a few things this evening. The first of which is that there were two public hearings on this agenda. Those were related to concept plan revisions for Hyde Park Hill and King's Chapel. As I had mentioned in some correspondence, we were made aware of a flaw in the public announcement for that public hearing, and so those public hearings are going to be canceled and those items deferred until the September meeting so that we can get those properly noticed. So if there's anyone here for the public hearings for those items, please know that those won't occur this evening. Secondly, as Chairman McCoy mentioned, we're going to do things a bit differently this evening. In addition to not doing the electronic voting, we'll do those by voice vote. And you will be able to see both the agenda material, staff reports, and the attachments on your monitors in front of you and on the big screen for those in the audience and for those watching at home. And then finally, I'll mention to you that the second public hearing regarding the growth plan update, specifically regarding the county's proposals for the planned growth areas and rural areas associated with that, is going to be on Monday evening, the 14th, 6 o'clock here in this room. And that's all I have.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a public comment period, and no one signed up for that. So we will proceed on to item number 5, consideration of the minutes from the last meeting. Do we have any comments on those meeting minutes? Do we have a motion? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Voice vote, please. Aye. Hearing no nays. Motion passes. Consideration of the consent agenda should have been in your packet. And do we have any items that we need to pull from the list first? Hearing none, do I have any comments or or a motion on the consent agenda? Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Let's vote, please. All those in favor say aye. 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 Motion passes. Moving on to item number 47, old business. Preliminary plat review for Grade Barn Farms, large lot easement subdivision containing 4 lots on 109.92 acres located off Kennard Springs Road in the 9th Voting District. Staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The subject property is approximately 110 acres in size and is located at the end of Kennard Springs Road, approximately 1 mile southeast of Carters Creek Pike. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create 4 lots off a new 50-foot ingress-egress utilities easement. The site contains natural resources requiring protection, including steep slopes, hilltops and ridgetops, slippage soils, karst features, wetlands, and tree canopy. All zoning ordinance requirements, including those regarding the protection of natural resources, have been met. The applicant is proposing individual septic systems for the lots, and the Williamson County Department of Sewage Disposal Management has approved their request. Water will be provided by HB&TS Utility District. As no fire hydrants are proposed, building envelopes have been separated by 200 feet, and the fire apparatus access requirements in Section 3.05 in the subdivision regulations must be met at the final plat stage. The preliminary plat is in order, and staff recommends approval subject to the following conditions, which must be addressed in conjunction with final plat submittal. Number 1, a notice of coverage issued by TDEC will be required prior to the issuance of a land disturbance permit. Number 2, prior to submittal of the final plat, provide a letter from the water provider either stating the water lines are installed and functioning or listing a performance bond amount for water improvements. Number 3, a land disturbance permit must be obtained for the overall development. Number 4, prior to submittal of the final plat, driveway and drainage infrastructure must be complete, consistent with zoning ordinance requirements. And number 5, satisfaction of section 3.05 of the subdivision regulations as it pertains to fire apparatus access requirements.
Thank you. Do we have any comments on item number 47 or any questions? Do you want to say something?
Randy Chaplain, I'm the surveyor on this project, and if you answer any questions that y'all might have.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Any comments? Do we have a motion on the item? Thank you. We have a second? We have a motion and a second on item 47. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 48 was withdrawn. Moving on to non-residential site plans. Item number 49, site plan review for the traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system on 234.66 acres located on Murfreesboro Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am reading from a revised report which is on the screen and on your desks in front of you. This item directly relates to items 50 and 51 on this agenda. Staff was made aware of a flaw in the public hearing notice for the above referenced items. Because staff is recommending deferrals of items 50 and 51, and because those items are directly related to this item, staff is recommending deferral until the September 14th, 2023 meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion on item on deferral? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to item 50, public hearings, concept plan review for King's Chapel containing 484 lots on 640 acres located off of Murfreesboro Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'm reading from a revised report which is on the screen and on your desks in front of you. Staff was made aware of a flaw in the public hearing notice. Therefore, out of an abundance of caution, staff recommends the public hearing be canceled and this item be deferred to the September 14th, 2023 meeting in order to allow proper notification of the public hearing.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on item 50? Thank you, sir. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to item 51, concept plan review for High Park Hill subdivision containing 205 lots on 321 acres located off of Murfreesboro Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'm reading from a revised report which is on your screen and on your desks in front of you. Staff was made aware of a flaw in the public hearing notice. Therefore, out of an abundance of caution, staff recommends the public hearing be canceled and this item be deferred to the September 14th, 2023 meeting in order to allow proper notification of the public hearing.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on item deferral for item 51? So, do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. 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 All those opposed? Motion passes. Moving on, preliminary plats. Item 52, preliminary plat review for Troubadour Phase 13 containing 48 lots on 155.1 acres located on Clubview Drive in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A revised concept plan for this development was approved by this body at the June 2023 meeting, and the applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval for the 13th phase of the development, which contains 48 lots and approximately 66 acres of open space. A 9-hole golf course is proposed within the open space. The roads within the development will be private. The plat is consistent in layout with the revised concept plan. The preliminary plat is in order, and staff recommends approval with the following conditions, which must be addressed with final plat submittal. Number one, in conjunction with final plat submittal, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. If the 9-hole golf course is to be leased to the golf club or another entity, the HOA documents must contain provisions related to such a lease. The approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number two, establishment of a performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number three, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Millcrofton Utility District and/or Nolensville College Grove Utility District as applicable. Number four, establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system. Number five, submission of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number six, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number seven, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Do we have any questions on item 52? Any comments? Hearing none, do we have a motion on item 52? Thank you. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to item 53, preliminary plat review for Reedsville Phase 3 containing 134 lots on 195.66 acres located on Lampkins Bridge Road in the 5th Voting District. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A concept plan for this development was reviewed by this body at the November 2020 meeting. The concept plan was ultimately approved by court order on June 10th, 2021, and confirmed by the Planning Commission at its September 9th, 2021 meeting. The applicant is requesting preliminary plat approval for the third phase of the development, which contains 134 lots and approximately 142 acres of open space. The plat is consistent in layout with the confirmed concept plan. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions, which must be addressed in conjunction with final plat submittal. Number one, per the recommendation of the county's traffic engineering consultant, no more than 63 lots may receive final plat approval per year beginning on the date of concept plan approval, which is June 10th, 2021. This number may be adjusted based on changes to TDOT's projected completion schedule for the widening of Highway 96. Number two, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. The HOA documents must be submitted with the final plat, and the approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number three, establishment of a performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number four, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Millcrofton Utility District. Number six, establishment of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system. Number six, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number seven, execution of a performance agreement for the above referenced sureties. Number eight, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number nine, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Do we have any discussion or question on item 53? Yes, sir, Mr. Crohan.
My question is, 63 lots, that is phase 1, 2, and 3.
So the 63 lots comes in when they do the final plats for it. So phase 1 has 63 lots. Phase 2 has 63 lots. The one that you're looking at now, that is phase 3, will be divided up into 63 lots in section 3 and then section 4. So it'll be 63 lots per year. They came in with this one for one final plat approval for the remainder of the development.
63 lots will be, for 1 will have 63 lots, 2 will have 63 lots, and this and 4 will have 63 lots in total.
So this one here has a total of 134 lots, so it'll be broken up into two. and each one will have 63 yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion on item 53? Thank you. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye, please. Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Item 54, preliminary plat review for Vista Creek subdivision containing 16 lots on 149.25 acres located on Old Hillsborough Road in the 9th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A concept plan for this development was approved by this body at the May 2023 meeting, and the applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval for the development, which contains 16 lots and approximately 23 acres of open space. The roads within the development will be private. The plat is consistent in layout with the approved concept plan. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions, which must be addressed in conjunction with final plat approval. Number one, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the county attorney's office. The HOA documents shall address the requirements of section 17.12, private streets of the zoning ordinance. The HOA documents must be submitted with the final plat, and the approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number two, establishment of a performance bond for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number three, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of HB and TS Utility District. Number four, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping improvements. Number five, dedication of right-of-way 30 feet off the center line of Old Hillsborough Road. Number six, execution of performance agreements for the above referenced sureties. Number seven, execution of a stormwater maintenance agreement and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvements. And number eight, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments on item 54?
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you're coming off Highway 96, you're just doing just the right-hand turn off of Old Hillsborough Road. Is that what you're saying?
Charlie, will you scroll down for me, please? And then scroll over to the other way. Let me call Kelsey up here. Kelsey, if you'll come up here for us, please.
Kelsey McGee, T-Square Engineering. I represent this project as the design engineer. If you could repeat your question, I couldn't hear it.
A right-hand turn lane off of Old Hillsborough Road into the subdivision.
There is not currently proposed one, no.
Are there any improvements to Old Hillsborough?
Not other than the right-of-way dedication. We do have a permit from TDOT for a commercial entrance, so it will be up to their specs. However, the number of trips provided by this subdivision does not warrant a traffic study or improvements of that sort at this time.
Okay.
It is a small subdivision. That's pretty busy road.
Any further questions or comments? Do I have a motion on item 54? Thank you. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I believe staff has a comment.
Yeah, just real quickly before we adjourn, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Aaron for putting together the electronic package in a way that could be transmitted in a single email. I got pretty good feedback from everybody in terms of how that worked. Let us know if you're having issues with it, but we'll keep doing that going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes.
Really quickly, just to foreshadow, next month will be a little more lively. So please remember your ex parte communication rules. And if you have any questions, give me a call.
Thank you. Anything else? Do I have a motion for adjournment? So moved. Thank you.